Hello everyone, welcome to the next custom spotlight video. Today we'll be looking at my Glynn models. Now I bet you're wondering, why on earth is James in the background? Well, James here, if I move Glynn back, is actually the base for Glynn. Well, not James, more of his tender. Yes, the Glynn models are made from a base of James's tender. Hard to believe, I know. Alright, James, you can go back to your spot now. Alright, so we'll go ahead and look at the first one created. Diesel Glynn from Legend of the Lost Hills. Now, this Glynn was the first one and has suffered damage over time. As you can see, one of his parts have fallen off, sadly, due to, well, not exactly being the most properly constructed model. The front uses a face from the Legend of the Lost Hills, a paper diesel front, which is kind of not exactly best painted, but I've tried my best. He has, I don't exactly remember what these are called for buffers, but his side has been painted. You kind of see where the paint has been chipping off of the model. Now, the entire base of James's tender had to be removed. So basically, the floorboard is the only part that's James's tender. It's been covered over by paper, and the top here was constructed from paper. Clay was put inside of it and covered over. And the whole model is basically taped together to cover over everything. So that's kind of how he was formed. We have paper clips for the side rails. His little thing here was made from a tester's paint bottle, which was the paint I used at the time. I've since moved on to apple barrel, as you'll see later down the line. The paper clip has been made for the claw, and good old Glynchy here is made from a spare Diesel 10 claw. I bet you're wondering where I got the claw from. Well, we'll see those models, hopefully, in the future. The claw actually can move around. All that's holding it in is a bit of blue tack, which I use to hold the faces on for my models. So it can move around here into 60 degrees. You can move the claw a bit. Or you can just break it like that. Like I said, this model is old. So it's exactly the best made. So I'm not exactly surprised if it falls apart on me. Here's the back, which is really falling apart, as you can see. The back here does have the paper held on for the back. You can really see the paint chipping off. Now this part here was held on here by super glue connecting to the black wire, but has since fallen off. The same little prong things have been used for buffers. And I don't exactly know what these are called, but they're on the back here. Now, this black piece here, I don't know why, but it was extremely super sticky, and whenever you touched it, basically the black paint would come off. I don't exactly know why, though. But the tester's paint bottle also has a little paint detail going on it. This is actually super glued onto the model separately. Here we can see the wire kind of coming off, but yeah. The base is actually still James's tender. On the bottom here, it's one of the only models that I have given custom things at the bottom for it. Glynn, Legend of the Hills. I keep saying Lost Hills for some reason, and 2017. But yeah, this model's kind of broken, so I say we move on to Glynn 2.0, aka Glynn from the TV series. Starting off, he once again does use the James tender base, but he's a lot more taller than his original counterpart. And he has a lot more edits done to him. First off, at the front here, this part is completely made of cardboard. He has his face from the TV show, a little chain detail, and push pins to represent buffers, although one looks to be bigger than the other, but that sadly has to be the case. We have his circle here, which is supposed to say Glynn, but I didn't keep that on. I just had it be a golden circle. And the number 1. It is made to look like Thomas's number 1. Now, his cab back here has a lot of details going on with it. First off, a paper clip was painted and just stuffed down there. So yeah, this black paper clip was painted and just stuck down there, and it just stays. He once again uses a tester bottle to keep as his firebox or whatever, and he does have a push pin to represent his funnel. These silver blocks here, I do believe, actually came from the James footplate, but I can't exactly remember. Once again, as paper clips represent the little pipes. He's got his pipes made from paper clips. Now this one over here tends to fall off a lot at this part. He does have some controls here, which are just kind of stuck down there, and can move. And if you're wondering, yes, Glynn actually can hold a figure at the back. If I get here Sir Robert Normanby, you can fit the Earl back in the cab of Glynn. Although it's highly recommended he holds on to one of Glynn's controls to stay in place. And if we get Diesel Glynn here, he too can hold a figure. In this case, we'll give him good old PT Boomer. Although with the little part missing from the back, it does make it a little bit easier for Glynn to hold Boomer. Anyway, back to Glynn here. That's pretty much all the things. His back buffer beam is just normal buffers. And if you look at the bottom here, I did stick some weights in the back here because I don't exactly remember why, but I do believe he had a bad time running. Speaking of running, he has a big story of how he got his side rods. So first off, I used Spencer wheels for the front. And he was originally supposed to use Tomy wheels in the back. But those wheels didn't work, so I switched to Trackmaster Revolution wheels. If you kind of notice up the front here, I had to do a lot of work on the base of Glynn to make it so the wheels don't exactly interfere with the mechanism for him to work. If you notice, this Glynn actually does use parts of James's original tender. This entire front part, I do believe, is normal James tender, just covered over a bit with tape. You can kind of see the tape on this model, though, because you do see a little bit of the dents here. The side rods are Trackmaster 2, I believe, and were cut specifically for this model. Especially towards the front here. Now, this isn't the only time I've had to do custom side rod work, as you'll see later down the line. But there's Glynn. And although he does have a little bit hard time running, he can run, although his side rods tend to be stiff. And he doesn't like to go backwards because his coupling here always faces down, so it always gets hooked on Tomy track. But anyway, on to the conclusion. This has been a look at the custom spotlight for Glynn. Now I guess we just wait for the mysterious force to give us our... Here we go. Okay, well, that's an interesting choice. I guess we'll look at the Steelworks crew and experimental engines for the next episode. See you all then.